Happy Halloween, everyone. Or, more specifically, we have one day to go till Halloween, All Hallows Eve. With that said, this is the final of the two special reviews I'm doing for Halloween. And of course, this is the Goku Report. So with that said, originally I was gonna do a thing called Intruders, a BBC series, but a suggestion from someone on Facebook. How about I do a special on something I actually love and have a passion for? So with that said, this is going to be the first of probably a tradition moving forward for a series of reviews for one of my all-time favorite shows, Goosebumps. And here have my buddy here, Mr. Skeleton Head with sunglasses. But whatever. Yes, this is a review specifically for the Goosebumps Specials, which in total, there was a series of 6 specials. They would premiere at prime time on Fox. At the peak. On average, these specials would do about 11 to 15 million viewers, and it would premiere at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night, prime time. So no wonder, but yeah, it was pulling in 15 million viewers on average. Quite impressive feat. So congratulations. But total we have 6 to discuss about today. I currently only have physically 4 of the 6 we'll be talking about the specials. You have, based off the original first Goosebump book, of course, Welcome to Dead House. The Haunted Mask 2. Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and the last of the specials, A Night in Terror Tower. And then next year we'll look at some of the other stuff. So with that said, and one of the other specials would be revolve around my personal favorite character of all time from the series. Would revolve around Slappy. And that would be Night of the Living Dummy 3. And then the last one, which I unfortunately don't have anything, and that is the original classic, The Haunted Mask, which is an all-time favorite of most people, I would say. With that said, I'll mention briefly, in rank of the 6, my least favorite to my favorite of the Goosebumps specials, and what overall I'd rate them, give them a grade. First, we'll start out with my personal least favorite of the specials, even though I do have it physical, luckily. Still, overall, I give this special probably a C+. The lowest grade, but yeah, coming in 6th place for me personally is probably a lot of people's favorite, or some people's favorite anyways, and that is the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Comes in 6th place for me personally. I just didn't care as much for the story, plus I never got into the original Werewolf of Fever Swamp book, like some other people did. For me, the books and stuff, that's the thing. I'll admit my bias for some of these, but yeah. It's an interesting story though, Werewolf Fever Swamp, but I would end up liking some of the other werewolf stories we would see in future, based on future books of the Goosebumps series. But Werewolf Fever Swamp is a classic, but I just feel of the specials, it's the weakest, in my opinion. Coming in 5th place, probably giving it a B-. Coming in 5th place for me personally, of the 6 specials, is probably A Night in Terror Tower, comes in 5th place. I like it a little bit more than Werewolf of Fever Swamp. That's because I do admit the reason why it doesn't get any higher than 5th, though I really like the story, and I actually think the child actors in this are actually better than some of the other Goosebumps specials. In general, a lot of the episodes, the child actors they actually used actually were a little bit better overall. I actually thought some of the characters were interesting. And I did like the kind of mystery behind the villain. But overall, at the end of the day, I just felt a little sloppy with the pacing issues here and there, and some other issues I never got into the original book, A Night in Terror Tower, but comes in 5th. Coming in 4th place for me now, This is when it gets a little more difficult for me. Now, not based strictly on the books, but the movie itself, I have to give fourth place to, though it would be the first of the physical DVDs I would ever collect. Coming in fourth place for me personally is none other than a little something called Night of the Living Dummy 3. Would be the, definitely is one of the first, at least, books I would ever pick up, and it's what got me to pick up the older books and check them out. Now, sadly, over the years, I misplaced and lost my copy of Bride of the Living Dummy. But with that said, I have always had a thing and enjoyment for Slappy as a whole. But for me, coming in fourth place is Night of the Living Dummy 4. Why does it not get any higher? Some of the acting issues with some of the child actors, though, I do find quite fascinating. Honestly, who plays the special guest child actor, the scaredy cat cousin, which ends up briefly turned into a dummy himself by Slappy. And you might be surprised to learn who the young actor is. He was about 14 years old at the time. Um, Fascinating fact, and the young actor I'm referring to, his name is Hayden Christensen. At the time, very young, upcoming Canadian actor. Yes, Hayden Christensen, who would become, several years later, best well known for his roles in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and now returning in the Ahsoka series. But yeah, Hayden Christensen, better known as Anakin Skywalker, made his TV debut in one of the Goosebumps specials, which is awesome. That was a heck of a way to debut on the scene with probably between 11 and 15 million viewers watching. That's a pretty good start, in my opinion. But yeah, I still find it fascinating that how many actors today actually got some of their starts or helped them get their foot in the door through Goosebumps. Also, in a future thing I may do a review in the future, Andrew Gosling, also, which was in Say Cheese and Die. But with that said, coming in third place, my third favorite, but overall, I give Night of the Living Dummy a rating of probably a B+, actually. Coming in third place, getting, in my grading scale, an A-. And coming in third place for me is definitely a classic, and that is The Haunted Mask 2, the second installment to The Haunted Mask. A great, in my opinion, sequel, done very well, though I would say actually a sequel doing better. I would actually say Night of the Living Dummy 3 was better than Night of the Living Dummy 2. But with that said, yes. Haunted Mask 2 was very well executed. It would be only the second ever DVD Goosebump I would actually own. But with that said, it is quite interesting and quite enjoyable. I really enjoy it, even for all the cheesiness, bad effects and stuff and all. It was stuff like this that created my love and passion for horror film in general, and especially my enjoyment of cheesy, bad, B-rated horror films came from Goosebumps. And many things like this. But yeah, overall, I give The Haunted Mask 2 a A- overall and third place. Coming in second place, however, is the original, getting a flat A. The original classic, The Haunted Mask, which would not get a DVD release, unfortunately. It released only on VHS, physical. Unfortunately, most people, when they discuss best, like, of all time and stuff, most people will always say it's The Haunted Mask. As an adaptation, great, but in a case of a special or episode that I think far surpassed actually enjoying the book, coming in first place again, A+, my personal favorite, is none other than based on the original first RL Stine Goosebumps book. Coming in first place is none other than Welcome to Dead House. Comes in at number one. It would be what would create my interest and enjoyment for zombies. Though I'll be honest, zombies in House of the Dead, or rather, Welcome to Dead House, are actually pretty intelligent zombies. They're not your traditional zombies per se, and the fact that they can poof, go up in smoke in full sunlight, sort of like a vampire, which is kind of weird. But hey, RL Stine was known for liking to add his own little flair and spice to a mythological myth, if you will, to anything. He always enjoyed giving his own certain signature to anything, whether it be werewolves, ghosts, living dolls, or whatever. And Slappy was my introduction, was the first haunted doll, I guess you could say. Probably one of the reasons I've always been iffy around dolls. Thanks to Slappy. And then, a few years later, I would be introduced to, of course, Chucky, with the Child's Play series. Though I'll still always have a nostalgia factor that will lean me prefer the living doll, or dummy, if you will, of Slappy from the original show, over even Chucky. Chucky more intimidating and dangerous, yes, but I liked the way Slappy preferred to play mind games with his victims. I preferred Slappy for that reason, and his puns and everything, I've just always been a bigger fan. But anyways, that is for me just some of my thoughts on the 6 specials and where I would rank them. With that said, I love all the Goosebumps specials. Next year, when I do another Goosebump, I will probably look back and reflect my thoughts on the episodes slash books they're based off of for season 1 of Goosebumps. Total, there was 4 normal seasons besides the 6 specials. So in total, that gives me some material for special Halloween reviews for a few years to come. But just quickly mention, to prove somewhat of the big Goosebump person I am, you have stuff like I said, that Trilogy, which is one of my personal favorite special series of episodes, Shocker on Shock Street, How I Got Shrunken Head, Cry of the Cat, Ghost Next Door, many great ones, Say Cheese and Die, Jack-o'-lanterns, Perfect Skull, which was kind of odd, Horrorland, The Scarecrows, Ghost Beach, The Haunted House, whatever, Monster Blood, Mummy, Worms. The cool thing about this one with the mutants is actually has a guest role performed by, believe it or not, Adam West. And the last block. But that is just over the years what I collected. But when it comes to what books I've kept a hold of, when it comes to Goosebumps, Living Dummies, the very first book I ever owned, though, The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, which always holds a special place for me. Monster Blood, Egg Monsters, and of course the ones where you could actually choose the endings, which I love, always love these, that you could choose your ending, how you wanted it to go. He's only still have one of the Series 2000s, unfortunately. Then got some re-releases of classics like Monster Blood, as well as some in a special series called Horrorland. But that's it. That is my review for Goosebumps Holiday, or rather, Goosebumps Specials. So with that said, leave me a comment, tell me what is your personal favorite, and what is your personal favorite of the Goosebumps books. With that said, happy Halloween, everyone. Stay safe.